So today we're going to be looking through the external unchanged example in PSLE. Now let's look at the question. The number of boys and girls in the hall were in the ratio of 2:5. After 11 boys entered the hall and half the number of girls left the hall, the ratio of boys to girls became 1:1. So we notice that in this case it's a little bit strange because we see there are actually two things that happen. 11 boys entered the hall while we have half the number of girls that left the hall. So for this question, it's not just purely external unchanged. There's actually two parts. Part 1 is by your basic division. Part 2 followed by your external unchanged. So we write the ratio, boys is to girls, and we have three parts. Part 1, before. Part 2, the change, resulting in the first after value and the second after value. The reason why is because I want to split this case into two separate sections to make it easier for us to go and observe. So the ratio at the beginning here is it's 2:5. However, we notice that for the girls, we don't want to actually keep it as 5. It's going to make us have some decimal calculations inside. So why not we just double the ratio, maintaining it proportion, we get 4:10. From the first change would be a reduction of 5 units because in this case over here, remember half the girls left. So we're going to be left with 4:5 ratio. From this part, we notice that the boys later on have an increase of 11 students and we have a final ratio of 1:1. Now, at that point of time, the second section, we noticed that for the girls, there was no change in the values. The girls actually managed to stay the same. So we focus on this second half of the ratio and we use this for our calculations. All we want to do is just to make them equal. So we're going to be multiplying by 5 for the second ratio. So for the boys is to girls at the end, in this case, 4:5, still no change here. While we make it a 5:5 at the end. For the boys, we notice that from here, there's an increase in 1 unit. What is this increase in 1 unit? The increase in 1 unit is due to the increase as mentioned in the earlier part where 11 boys enter the hall. Okay, so using your final ratio that we have at the back, we do our final bits of calculations. 1 unit in this case refers to 11 and how many children were there at first. So let us go and calculate backwards to reach that number. So we first calculate the boys. Boys, there was 4 units, which was 44. Girls is 5 units, which is 55. But remember, the girls at the beginning was not just this 55. We need to add in another 55. The total at the beginning would be 44 plus 55 times 2, giving us 154 students altogether.